Well, we are almost at that time of year. It is almost back to school for kids in Rhode Island, and mask wearing, vaccinations, all hot button issues that we've been discussing. Joining us here for her regular interview on 12 News Now at 4, Rhode Island Education Commissioner Angélica Infante-Green. Commissioner, thanks for your time as always.
Thank you, Kim.
I want to talk about mask wearing. When you spoke with my colleague Steph Machado 2 weeks ago about masks in schools, you emphasized that the state is following CDC guidance by strongly recommending that schools implement mask wearing for both vaccinated and unvaccinated staff, teachers, and students. But there's no statewide mandate. And we saw just last night some school committees grappling with this issue, parents and the school committees having these debates. Why doesn't the state just intervene here and say, this is what we're doing?
Yeah, so when we were able to do that last year, it was because there was an executive order, right? There was a state of an emergency and there was an executive order in place, and working with the Department of Health and the governor's office, we were able to put in that mandate. That no longer is in existence. We don't have the legal authority to do that at this present moment. So that's why we strongly recommend. But I will tell you that in Providence, where we do have the authority, we will be following the CDC guidance. We will be having masks in schools.
So Providence will be mandating that both unvaccinated and vaccinated people inside of schools wear masks this fall.
Yeah, we're working that out. We're going to have a guidance that'll be ready by next week. But that is the plan at this moment, to follow the CDC guidance. We were successful last year because we followed the guidance, because we mitigated. We had the HEPA filters, we had the masking, we had all the mitigation, and that made us very successful as a state in bringing our kids back. And we want to make sure that we do the same.
I know you mentioned this having to be something that's done through executive authority. Obviously, you're in control of what's happening in the Providence public school system. Masks are going to be mandated there by the sounds of it. That's the plan. Do you think that the governor and the Department of Health should take executive action again to mandate masks statewide?
I don't think they have to be given the executive action authority. They can't just take it. So that's not where we are. I think it is, we are a local control state. So it really is up to the municipalities at this point. But we are willing to work with anyone. But I also want to remind people that vaccination is key, right? Us continuously improving our vaccination rate is going to be key for the kids that can't be vaccinated. Mitigating the chances and exposure is what's going to be key. So we are, like I said, I know that I'm repeating myself, but we are following the CDC guidance.
Speaking of vaccines, I've asked you this question now multiple times about mandating vaccines for teachers, but I want to revisit the topic because some things have changed. This is a very fluid situation, but California is now mandating that teachers either get vaccinated or tested. The country's second largest teachers union is now voicing their support for mandatory vaccination. Has the thinking on mandatory vaccines for teachers changed at all?
It hasn't changed because we have about 90% or more of our teachers already vaccinated. It's not really an issue here in Rhode Island. Our teachers have been, ready and going, and we're some of the first. And I remember I went to one of the clinics where the teacher felt like she had the golden ticket. That's not our case here in Rhode Island.
I want to shift gears just a little bit and talk about Providence. I know the Providence Teachers contract already ratified. It's a done deal. But I did want to ask you about something that Mayor Jorge Elorza told me the last time I spoke with him, which was just hours before the ratification. He said, quote, "It is a contract that still benefits the adults at the cost of the children." Is he wrong?
Well, so here's what I would say to that is that it's a good step in the right direction. I have to say that I was appalled by certain things. We were really, really behind in Providence, meaning no parent-teacher conference, that was optional. Planning time, that was optional. Lesson plans, none of that is optional now. So I think that it's a step in the right direction. And we listened to the parents when I first came on board. What are the things that you want to see? And, we moved in that direction.
So you didn't necessarily answer my question of whether or not he's wrong. Do you think that statement is wrong? Do you think that this contract benefits the adults more than it does the kids?
I don't know if it benefits one over the other. I think that the responsibility lies on us at the district level to make sure that we enact the contract in a way that makes sense and benefits the kids. So how we enact it is what's going to matter at the end of the day.
And I wanted to ask you something else about Providence as well. I understand that the Department of Education just received a $1 million grant to help with some programming in Providence. What's that money going to be used for?
Yay! So actually the state, we applied for it, and we are the only, and this is why I was so excited about that, the only education agency in the nation to receive any money. And as you know, we've had a focus on our multilingual learners that were the kids that have really performed really poorly. And we know that algebra is a gatekeeper and has been a gatekeeper. And right now we don't want it to be. So we put this grant together to really look at how we can improve and make this a gateway instead of a gatekeeper for our students. So we are so excited. And when I say we're the only ones, 16 applicants worldwide, and we are the only education agency in the United States that received a penny of this money. So we're so excited because it aligns with our values, our focus, and our vision as we have been doing the work.
And Commissioner, before I let you go, we're getting very close to back to school. We've talked about masking and vaccines. What else is going on behind the scenes? What's your focus right now as we are in the final stretch before kids head back to their classrooms?
Oh my goodness, so much, right? Thinking about what the opening plans are going to look like, working with the districts to make sure that those plans are solid and strong, not just academically, but social emotionally. We led the nation last year, and we intend to continue to lead the nation. You know, we have this campaign going, our kids, our kids. You're going to hear that from us all the time, our kids. We're even making bumper stickers. So when people go out there and you see that bumper sticker, honk 3 times, because we're going to make it happen. And it's really about being ready, prepared, and everybody rowing in the same direction to make sure that our kids get the best in-person education possible.
Commissioner, anything else you'd like to add or let folks know before I let you go?
Just to thank everyone for the patience. And, you know, last year we said the word was flexibility, and it continues to be flexibility. But more so than flexibility is really working together, right? It's about all hands on deck to push forward so that we can continue to lead. I want to thank you all, especially the parents and the teachers.
Rhode Island Education Commissioner Angélica Infante-Green, thank you as always for your time.